So yeah, the only thing that I want to tell you is when you are going to commit to being a full-time real estate agent, that means that you should be lead generating 5 days per week for a minimum of 3 hours per day. And the question then becomes, when should you generate your leads? Well, I make cold calls in real estate. That's what I do, but I do it on a team, and my sole role is circle prospecting, cold calling, calling around just listed, just sold, on a dialer, and I do it all day. But if you're a full-time real estate agent, that means you're doing all the things. So you're gonna do your lead generation through cold calling. You are going to go on appointments. You're going to sign contracts. You're going to go on inspections and appraisals and all the things. So you can't generate leads all day the way that I do, but what you can do, and you should do as a full-time real estate agent, is generate leads for 3 hours per day. Then the next question becomes, what time of day should you generate those leads? And just from my own personal experience, because I was a full-time agent at one point, and I learned both from doing it right and doing it wrong, what to do. And so the question becomes, when should you generate those leads? And I am telling you that there's a million different real estate agent example schedules that you can Google and find PDFs of that will lay out an entire schedule of your day as a full-time real estate agent. For lead generation, first thing in the morning is perfect. When I say first thing in the morning, I mean, I would say no earlier than 8 a.m., at least where I live in Michigan. It's not legal to call anyone to generate leads, especially cold calling, prior to 8 a.m. So I would do it no earlier than that. But like for what I do, circle prospecting, I start at 9 a.m. because I don't want somebody who's not expecting my call to get a call at 8 a.m. It would be different if I was calling expireds or FSBOs, but circle prospecting, I would just call at 9 a.m. and minimum call until 12, maybe 1 o'clock, but let's just say 12 because maybe you don't want to do 4 hours of lead generation. You're going to call from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then you're going to take a lunch. And of course, like in the afternoon, if you have appointments, you're going to go on them. Or if you have appointments later in the evening, you might prepare for those appointments mid to late afternoon. If you don't, you're either going to generate leads. Maybe you'll attend a training on how to fill out buyer forms, how to fill out listing forms, things like that. But for the most part, you're going to be generating leads when you're not on appointments. But the best time to do it is in the morning. And there's a couple reasons why. Some people say that they're freshest in the morning, but even if you're not a quote unquote morning person, I mean, the reality is if you're a full-time real estate agent, you're going to become a morning person, or you're going to become a person that does have to function in the morning in spite of not being a morning person. And so that's why you want to generate your leads in the morning first thing, because the crap hits the fan throughout the rest of the day. Your personal life will blow up, like meaning your kids or whatever will be in school and they'll need to talk to you in the middle of the day, or they'll need to be picked up, but they're not where they said they were going to be. So you have to wait, and then you have to get them. And then something comes up at your job where your job took longer than expected. You know, like let's say you have a full-time job or whatever, like that's outside of real estate. Like there's all sorts of distractions that will stop you from generating your leads, which is why you do it first thing, because it is the most important thing. And some people, when they first get into real estate, think that, okay, well, I'm a real estate agent, and they see what Selling Sunset shows you and all the other things, and they see all this sexiness where it's like, oh, showing houses and going on appointments is the most important thing. Well, when you're first starting in real estate, the most important thing, and probably even after several years, the most important thing is lead generations, because if you don't have any leads generated, you are not going to have any appointments to go on, or any inspections and appraisals to negotiate, and no deals to close. So that you're going to generate your leads. That's the first thing. And again, once you generate your leads, like once you engage in that activity, honestly, like the rest of the day, even if it goes badly, you know you did the most important thing for the day, as a real estate agent, as a full-time real estate agent, and as a person making cold calls. You made your cold calls, you made your dials, you made your contacts, you generated your leads, you put them in your CRM, and you, whether you're using, Lofty or Follow Up Boss or Top Producer, or if you're, there's different brokerages. There's KV Core. A lot of people at eXp Realty use that. If you're at Keller Williams, you'd use Command. The point is you're going to generate your leads, and they're going to go into your CRM. And hopefully you have that automated so that you don't have to physically manually enter them into your CRM. But if you do, then you might have to add some tags and things like that. But the point is you do your number one activity of lead generation first thing in the morning, because then that's the most important thing, right? If the most important thing when you wake up in the morning, or the most important thing that you do is breathe, right? So first thing when you wake up is literally breathing, because it's the most important thing. If you don't breathe, you don't live. And if you don't live, then you don't have a real estate sales business. So I say all that to say, in order for your real estate business to live, you need to feed it. What you feed it with is leads generated, relationships built, even if it's not a lead. Somebody who's like, hey, yeah, I don't have any real estate needs, but you can stay in touch. You build those relationships, you put those in your CRM, and then of course they get followed up with. But your number one goal in the morning is to generate those leads. And like when you're cold calling, that's why I'm telling you, when you're cold calling, especially because you're going to be using your cell phone, at least to dial into the dialer, whatever dialer you're going to use, you're going to have distractions. Agents in your office are going to be like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're cold calling? Okay, gotcha. What neighborhood are you calling? Or how long you been doing this? Did you just get into real estate? And there's going to be all these distractions. But you have to realize that if you can be polite, but just say, you know what? I'm doing this from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And when I'm done, like, let's chit chat. Happy to catch up. Send me an email, whatever. And, because you have to be laser focused on the number one thing that's going to build and support your business. If you do not have leads, you are going to be in real trouble. So, like, for example, right, it is like mid to late November of 2025 right now. And all of the leads that I generate between now and the end of 2025 are going to pretty much 99%, if not 100%, are going to close in 2026 and beyond. And so, like, that's the other thing too, is there's this lag time in real estate where the leads you generate today are not going to close for 90 days or more. And so I want to have a big business in 2026. So I want to make sure that I'm not taking time off during the holidays and just not generating leads. That is going to hurt my 2026 business. I can do that, but when you're first getting started, like, you have to roll this like a snowball. And when you're building a snowball, it starts off really small, and then you're rolling it up the hill, and it's gradually accumulating more snow and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you have that ramp up period when you're starting off as a brand new real estate agent is vital. There are some people who just, if you have a humongous sphere of people with money and people who are all looking to transact buying or selling in the next 3 to 5 years, like all of them, everybody you know is looking to do that. If that's just your life, then maybe you don't have to do this. But if you're even considering making cold calls, it means you probably don't have those types of relationships, which is perfectly okay and perfectly normal. So you have to, it's like literally have to take it day by day and build up the snowball. And every day that you're not doing that, you're letting that snowball melt and get smaller and go back down the hill from the start to the starting point. And then you're starting from zero again. So it is so important to do that. The other thing is you're also going to have real estate trainings in your office that your brokerage is going to tell you that you should attend. And some of them, they might even make mandatory. And sometimes they might not make something mandatory, but everybody in real estate is trying to sell you something. Literally, your brokerage, other brokerages, other lead generation companies, everybody's trying to sell you something, which means your time is going to be taken away from the lead generation that you're supposed to be doing to build up this snowball and you're going to have these other conversations, and they're going to sound really important because they're going to flash shiny objects in front of you that have maybe a seemingly low or no cost, and you're going to think, maybe I should be doing that. Maybe I should be doing open houses. Maybe I should be, sending out flyers or mailers or whatever. And you have to stay focused on what you're doing. If you're committed to doing it through cold calling, anytime you're not cold calling between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m., you're doing it wrong. That is it. You are doing it wrong, 100%, full stop. So I just want to look and see how long I've been talking. Oh my God, I've been talking more than 10 minutes. So also want to just kind of say a couple other things. Number one, so you're going to have distractions, and like sometimes it's going to be clients that are going to be a distraction. That's the other thing too. In a perfect world, yes, you want to make sure that you're available for your clients and the leads that you do generate, like the people that you do talk to, and they're like, yeah, I want to do something. Can you come over my house and talk to me about listing my home and let me know what it's worth? Sometimes you're gonna find it best to just between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m., no appointments. Your appointment is your lead generation. And every appointment that you have with a buyer or seller is going to take place in the afternoon. Now, are there some clients that are only going to be available in the morning to meet? Yes, so that might happen. But depending on how strict and rigid you want to be, like that's the deal. Because I'm telling you right now that if you go on an appointment, even if you go on an appointment and the appointment is really good at like 9 a.m., you're going to think, oh, when I get back to the office, I'm going to be really good. I'm going to be in a really good mood because the appointment went well, and you're going to generate leads. No, you're going to feel good, and it's going to be harder for you to generate those leads because you're on a high from going on this great appointment. And now you got to generate leads because it's like 11 a.m. already, and you only have an hour left of lead generation, and then do this. So you have to make lead generation your number one focus. You're in the lead generation business before anything else. That if no one told you that, tell you that. And I'm telling you right now that if you want to have a thriving real estate business through cold calling, for example, you cannot go wrong by doing it exactly this way. 240 days out of the year, you're going to work. You're going to work more than that, but you're going to generate leads 3 hours per day on a dialer, talking to hopefully 30 people or more per day. And if you do that, I think that's 7,200 people, 7,200. I forgot exactly what the number is, but like if you do that 240 days out of the year, 30 contacts per day, year after year after year, your business is going to do nothing but grow. And I got so distracted as a brand new real estate agent, I got so distracted by trainings and mentorship and, oh man, but let me teach you this new lead generation thing, or let me teach you how to do what you're currently doing better. And it was so distracting. And it was like, I'm trying to learn this industry. I'm trying to learn the lingo. And what I failed to realize is that the way to learn this industry primarily is generate the leads. When you find the leads and they want to meet with you and talk to you, well, then you can talk to somebody about, hey, how do I answer common questions that come up with these conversations? And even when you don't know the answer, you can say to the lead, hey, you know what? That's a really great question. Let me get that answer for you. I work with a really great real estate brokerage that provides me all the support I need. And I want to make sure I get you the correct answer that fits your situation. But yeah, so generate leads. Do not get distracted. This is like, if you listen to no other advice from me on any other video, generate your leads. If you're full-time, if you're wanting to go full-time, lead generation, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., 5 days per week, 240 days out of the year, period, end of story. Like and follow for more, and subscribe.